was very much interested in learning digital marketing course for a very long period of time, but I don't get a proper platform. So later from our college, I get to know about XLR and I enrolled in XLR course. It was really good experience. Our course has been taken by Mayur sir, and he was very good teacher. He not only focusing on theory part, he is doing how real digital marketing works, and it was in total very good experience. I get so much of knowledge. Here they're not only focusing on study, they're also conducting different exam to test our knowledge, and as we are giving the exam, so to appreciate our work, they give certificates for the toppers, and along with the certificate they give hampers. Thank you, XLR.
Recently I was searching for digital marketing courses online in Google, and I came across XLR and I attended a digital marketing course which was for 15 days. My mentor Mayur helped me for attending these classes. So he is a very informative and helpful guy. In the course end, there is a exam which I topped, so I came to the XLR office in Bengaluru. This digital marketing course has helped my career and my skills to develop, and the certificate has helped my company to join. Thank you, XLR.
I came to know about this course from my college. Actually, for learning platform, this is very nice, and I learned from here ChatGPT and AI from online. Because he's teaching for me for AI generative and ChatGPT. We are using this technology in more. And after finishing the courses, I came for collecting the certificate. I seen the classrooms and faculties. Classroom is very nice. After the completion of exam, they will give gift and certificates. Thank you, XLR, for giving these courses. I learned a lot from this. I gained the more knowledge from here. And thank you for XLR for teaching us.
Hi, I am Karthikeyan Rannan. I am the president of the Wall Street Club of BITS Pilani Hyderabad campus. Yes, so the collaboration with XLR was an excellent one. We conducted a Power BI workshop with Advanced Excel over a span of 3 days. The workshop was almost 12 hours long in total. Mr. Karthik, who was an amazing trainer, helped the students understand the concepts deeply. I am sure that the students will be able to apply these concepts in their careers as well as their daily lives while they try to navigate the world of finance. I am happy that we will be able to close this workshop successfully on a very good note.
Hi, I am Raghunendra Singh and I am the Technical Director of the Wall Street Club at BITS Pilani Hyderabad campus. It was a great amazing conducting this workshop with XLR. The trainer, Mr. Karthik, was an excellent person where he explained in very detailed manner on how to give great insights using very complex data sets, which was very helpful for the people who are interested in the field of finance, business or analytics in general. Thank you.
I attended a workshop conducted by CSA and ACM in collaboration with XLR. So it was a machine learning workshop. We learned a lot from the course and it was a great experience attending the workshop.
The trainer was very helpful. He had a hands-on approach with his teaching and it was fabulous.
This was a great experience for me, so I would absolutely love it if XLR and its team would come again to our campus and conduct more events like this.
The journey was great. Initially, I thought that I was not proficient enough in Excel, but later I came to know there was no prerequisites for it, and then I applied for it, and it was a great course, and it started from basics and took me to a great extent.
Good evening, myself Kavya Ganatra. I am from Computer Science Association. I was the POC for this ML workshop conducted by CSA and ACM in collaboration with XLR. The experience of the workshop was really nice. The feedback from all the students was positive. They understood the concept. The workshop was also practical based with some questions. The experience with XLR was very smooth. They helped us in conducting the workshop smoothly right from the booking of the vendor and deciding the course till the distribution of certificates. In overall, this workshop was a success during our Technical Fest Atmos, and I thank XLR for being a part of it. Thank you.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. We will just start in a while. Let other also join. And we can start by 3:05, I guess. So meanwhile, what we will do today is we will do a different, we'll analyze a different data set. I will share that data set and then we can start. Hello, hi. Hi, Shubhya. I'm just sharing that data set and then we can start. Okay, you're not seeing the format when I create the charts. Yes. Uh, Let me share my screen. You have to click on enable pane switcher, then you will be able to see. I will just show you. Let's share my screen. Okay. Okay, I hope my screen is visible right now. So basically in options and settings, you go to options. Under report settings, you have to enable pane switcher as on. So that is the first thing. Pane switcher, these options. So once you allow this and click on OK, this part will come. This part will come here on the extreme right. Customize pane switcher. So here, if you click on the plus icon, you can enable format and everything. So just check if you have enabled that in the settings, then it will come. And then you can also check in view. In view also, this will come. Okay, so just let me share the data set and then we can proceed. The small data set basically. So this data set is related to the plane crashes which has happened since 1921 till 2023. Just download this data set. We'll first try to understand what this data set is about, and then we will analyze some observations out of this. I can see still a lot of people are joining. We'll wait for about 2 more minutes and then we'll start. Okay. All right. So let's start. Okay, so I hope you have got the data set. And I hope you have downloaded it. So the very first thing that we do, how do we connect the data? So how do I connect that data? Anyone? Just mention in the chats how to do that. Yes. Okay. So basically you have to click on this import data. So either from get data, if I go to the home and yes, import data from Excel or get data, and then we load that data. So basically if I import this data, I'm going to click on this fatal crash data. And then this will try to establish a connection. So again, you will get a lot of tables over here. 1921, 21, 2, 23, 2, a lot of these tables over here. So tables, and you can call them as queries or sheets. So we are concerned with the ones which are at the bottom, which are in gray color. So you can ignore the above ones. Just we are concerned with these things. So from 1921 till 1929 to 23. So I will take all these options. Okay. I'm just creating a screenshot in case you are not able to see. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Durga. It's get data. So basically, I'm selecting all these tables for analysis, and I will perform the required analysis, which is required. Now, we will not click on load. We'll click on transform data because we need to now do some cleaning or transformation related to it. Remember the ETL process. So this is the transformation process that we'll do. Post this, we are going to analyze the data or load the data into Power BI system. All right. It will take a little bit of time. And now we will see. Okay, so previous data, because this is for, this is again a different exercise we are doing. And that was a very structured data. This is a little bit of unstructured data, not fully unstructured, but some aspects are unstructured. And that is why we are using a different data set. So to illustrate another example. Okay, let's see what data set we have over here. So this data set is, if I look at 1921, on the year 1921, whatever plane crash has happened all over the world, recorded plane crashes, those details are recorded and their details are being captured over here in the sheet. So if I look at each of these columns, this is the date on which the crash has occurred. The time, in some case it's available or in other cases it's not available. This is the location where it crashed. This is the operator, which is the plane operator, which is responsible. Flight number, the route of the flight, the flight route which it has taken. If it is available, otherwise it's a question mark. This is the engine type. And this is the registration number. And this is also related to the registration number for the engine. Now, this is the interesting part. The passengers or the crew, both combined, how many were aboard? how many were killed, which is in fatalities, and how many were there in ground when the crash has happened. So ground means could be any people on the ground. So those were there. And this is the summary. So usually it is taken from the black box or whatever it is observed on the site. A summary report is being done. So these are the real time, it's a real data of all the crashes which has happened from 1921 till last year. Okay, so we have for each year in a separate table all this data. Okay, so I want you to ask now, my question here is this data properly structured or does this require some cleaning? So that's the first question. And second question is, what are the ways we can do? So what are some of the things that we can do with respect to the data cleaning? So two questions. First of all, is this a structured data or an unstructured data? So let's try to understand. It needs cleaning. Okay, Priyanka. So it's an unstructured data. Okay. So what aspect is unstructured here? So as far as I can see, the rows and columns are there properly. So it looks to me as a structured data. Okay. So I have all my data which is present and looks more or less like the global Superstore data because all my columns and the required values are there. But null values are there. Okay. Okay. Structured data. Passengers, about needs to be segregated to passengers and crew more appropriately. Thank you, Aditya. That's a good point. Thank you. There are special characters. Yes. Thank you. Special characters, as in this question mark is a special character. If you see over here, so right now in this data we don't have, but if you go to the subsequent data sets, you will find this question mark kind of things. So yes. So for example, over here, if you look at the 8th row, in 1925, I have question mark over here. So it's a special characters. And very important point is my numbers and text are in one column. Okay, there are other aspects also which I'm looking for. Let's see what other aspects. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Data types. Yes, data types. I think data types is correct in my opinion. It has identified it correctly. Date, location, and everything. In that respect, with the initial analysis, it has identified correctly. But yes, later on, we might need to change the data type. Anything else? So one cleaning, definitely, this about fatalities needs to be cleaned. There is other aspect also which can be done. Can anyone tell me what other aspect that can be done? It's not a cleaning, but definitely a data transformation part. Duplicate values, okay. Maybe if we have a duplicate values, maybe if we have that. If you see the very first thing, on each year, if I select, routes could be separated from start to end, stops that it can be analyzed. Okay, so routes are a difficult thing to analyze, but maybe if it is possible, we can do that. So this is like again a multiple structure, but yes, definitely. If we know the start and the stop. So yeah, that also can be done actually. That's a good point. If you see over here, for every table, my columns are same, which means that every year, every table here has the date column and all these other columns which are present. All right. So instead of having them in different tables, I can have them in one single table, which what we call it as technically union or append. So we can append all these tables into one single table. So that is the first thing. And the second thing is we will clean the data when we see other values and rows over here. Okay. So I hope you understand what we are going to do, and then based on that, we will calculate. So if you click on this item, you can see that the value distribution, this pops up. So this is nothing but the column profile, which got enabled in view. So under view option, if you click on this column profile, you'll be able to get this one. Okay. So I can see many people who are joining in. So those who are joined in, I hope you are able to get this data set. If you are not able to see, just let this message me. I will just share the data set again. Okay. So we have got this part. So I hope now you understood what we are going to do. I'm going to share it again. Yeah, no worries. Just give me one moment and then I'm going to share this. This is everyone. So I have shared it again. So now we are back to the Power Query editor. Thank you. No worries. Thank you so much. So now when I am going to 1921, so I'm selecting 1921 as a query right now. So just have that option as selected. And there is this option of append queries. So just click on this append query on to the button which is there, and you will get two options. So append queries and append queries as new. So what happens is if I click on append queries, it will modify in this query itself. So each table is a query in Power Query Editor, and I refer them as queries. So in this query itself, SARE tables, all the tables will go inside this one. If I do as new, in the second option, it will create a new table and it will add all those tables in one row. Okay, so that is the aspect of append. So what do you mean by append actually? So append means vertically you are combining multiple tables. Okay, so if I want to demonstrate that, basically, I can just show basically one table over the other. So vertically it goes. So that is basically the append of the tables. Now, two conditions are required for appending of tables. One is your column names should be same. Then only this column will go into the another column. I mean, the column gets added below it. And the second thing is the data type of the column should be same. And third most, which is not like ideal, but the number of columns should be same. But that's not a mandatory requirement. But generally, it is advised that your number of columns should be also same. Otherwise, an extra column will get added when you add the new table. So number of columns, data type, the name of the columns. They should be same across all these tables. So I have got all these tables with the columns which satisfies this criteria. So whenever you come across this, you know that you have to append it in this kind of situations. So abhi kya karna hai? I am going to append the query. So I'm going to click on this option, append queries. It's there in the home tab. So click on this append query home tab, and you will get this two tables or three or more tables. So which option do I have to select? So basically I have to select the three or more tables because I am appending more than two tables over here. Yes, three or more. Now I have to select the first table is already selected because I am doing the query over here, 1921. So you will see two tables over here or two views. On the left side of the view, you will see the tables which are present. And on the right side, you will see the view where the tables you want to add or to append. So if I click on 1922 and if I click on this add option, it will go in tables to append in this box. Similarly, I can click on 1923 and I click on add. So this will go in this box. And I can press control and I can select all these tables. And then if I click on add, the remaining tables will go. Yes. I mean, you can do that even if it does not have the common columns, but the result would not be correct. You can do that operation as well. But it is possible to append without common columns also, but it is generally not recommended. So I have got all the tables from 1921 to 1929, I mean 1921 to 23. And then I will click on OK. So we'll wait for some time. Yes, correct. Each table rows will be added to the down of the other table. That's correct. So since I've added in 1921, so 1922 will get added below 1921. And now you can see it has got added below each one of the other tables. So that is your append. It is also called as union of tables. So we have done this append thing. And if you see here, appended query as a step got added. So remember, in Power Query, whenever you do any operation, a step gets added over here. And now you must be thinking, okay, if I have committed to this step, or let's say I have not selected all the tables, or I accidentally selected one table, what will happen? Can I undo the actions? So here you can either simply delete this step and all this will go away and it will restore back to the previous version. Or you click on this settings option, which is present over here. And you can you can modify which tables you want to append. So it's perfectly fine if you have not modified all the tables. You can always go back to the settings and change whatever you want. Okay. So if we are done with this part, just give me a quick yes so that we can proceed with the next one. Because all other steps are dependent upon whether you have done this part. So just give me a quick thumbs up or just in a chat that you have done this part. Okay, Sushmita said yes. Great. Don't worry, I will share this workbook also at the end of the session. So even if you have missed a couple of steps, you can retrace back by seeing the file. Okay, great. So we have, we have not much covered like with respect to the content. We just started with the connecting of the data. And I was explaining briefly about what the data is about. So I will just have a quick review of what data we are discussing. So this data is about the plane crash data, which means the planes which have crashed since 1921 till last year. These are the data that is being captured. And each of these columns represents those aspects. So the date of the crash, the time of the crash, the location, the operator, the flight number, the route which it has taken, and basically the engine type, the registration of the engines, and how many were aboard, how many died, how many were there in ground, and what is the summary of each crash, which they have found during the crash site. So basically, this is the information which is there. Sure. This is the brief, actually. I'm just explaining. This is what we have covered till so far. Okay, so I hope that you have covered this step. And now we will go to the next step. So I know some of you have mentioned that this data is unstructured. So it is unstructured in a way because let's focus on this abort and fatalities. So abort has this number which is 1 and inside it has passengers 1 and crew as 1, which means that this data contains a number as well as the text. Now I cannot do an analysis without separating these numbers from the text because it will not add the numbers. Suppose I want to find total aboard. How will I be able to find it? How many passengers were there or how many crew were there? So without getting proper data from this column, I will not be able to do any further analysis. So my first thing that I need to do is I need to extract the numbers out of the text, which is the same for fatalities. So that's what we are going to do now. So we are going to take total fatalities and total aboard. And then we will of course take this passengers and crew as well if we have time for that. So first important aspect is we want to take out total aboard and total fatalities which are there. And then we will take how many passengers and how many crew were there from aboard. So how do we take that? So there are many ways to do this problem. If you had been in Excel, you would have used the option text to columns. If you are in Power Query, you can use split columns or there are other methods to do that. So one of the methods that I prefer is mid function also. You can try it out. If you basically it splits the mid one. I have not tried that, but maybe you can try that. Split column, you can definitely try. Split column will easily give you the options that you require. An even easier option is if you go to add column. Just go to add column and there is this option column from examples. So for that, first of all, select the column which is here, which I have selected this as aboard. Select this column and then click on column from examples. And you will get two options here. One is from all columns and the second one is from selection. So basically this function, what it does is it takes the pattern which is present in the columns and it will form its own pattern, the one pattern that you specify. It is similar to flash fill in Excel. So I will select from selection option because I need to get from this column only. So this is the example and I will select from selection. And as you can see now, it will show me a preview as add columns from examples, enter sample values to create a new column, control plus enter to apply. Which means that what Power Query is asking you is from this column, enter the pattern that you want, and then it will identify the pattern on its own. So from this column, I require number, which is the first one, because this is the total number of people which were aboard on the plane, consisting of both passengers and crew. And so I'm going to click on this, essentially double click or just single click on this, and you can select one. And in fact, it tells you the length also, the length of the string, and it tells you the preview of the text. So if I click on one and just click on enter, it will identify the pattern similarly at every cell. So this is what we call it as the column from examples. And essentially, it has created a formula, which is this formula, text before delimiter. So text dot before delimiter is a function. And using that function, we have created this aspect. So it has automatically created that function. If you had typed manually this function, you would have got the same answer. Now the next part I'm going to do is I'm going to double click on this text before delimiter. So once you double click, the cursor gets enabled. And I am going to mention this as total above, which means that total people who are above. And I will click enter. And then you can click on OK over here. And your first transformation is done. So we got total above right over here. Okay. So this is the first thing that we have done. So all clear with the first step. So we have extracted the number total above from this. Yes, thank you so much. Similarly, the next number that I'm going to extract is from total fatalities. So I'm going to click on this total fatalities. And I'm going to do the same operation from selection. And then I'm going to click on 1. And so it identifies from total fatalities. And you can click on total fatalities. Click on OK. So it will do that operation. And then it has identified this aspect as well. So in a just simple way, we have extracted the numbers out of the text just by using an example from column from examples. And then we have done this in a very easy manner. Okay. Now you can see that it has certain red number which is over here. Yes, I will come to that. So there is a red indicator which it is showing. So there is an error which is less than 1%. So what could be that error? So that error could be because either there is a null value or there is a question mark. And based on that, it has given an error. So if you can see over here, this is the error which is present. And if I look at the column of fatalities, basically the fatalities here, it is mentioned as 0. Although it should have been text. Or let's say what happened. So something has happened over here. So some mismatch of the data, and that is why it is showing like this. So if I go over here to this side, so some mismatch of the data. This data looks wrong. It does not look. It does not take the same pattern as what we have taken in earlier case. So that is why Power BI says that okay, this looks different from the pattern which is there, and that is where the problem has occurred. And and if you see, it is very less. It is less than 1%. 5 values to be precise. Correct. So as the number of rows are, we have to find out the particular row. That is correct. There are other ways to also identify this. We were able to detect in the beginning, but there are many ways to identify the errors. So if you can load this data into it, then if I put close and load also, it would have given me a warning. Otherwise, another way to search for this is going to be either you can search for this blank rows, or you can select other things. Basically, close and apply save. In that way also you can do that. But that's a very good question. Since it was there in early or the number of rows were less, we were able to identify it. So okay, so what can be done for these errors? So basically, one of the things that we can do is, since I don't know about fatalities here, So fatalities is straight away mentioned as 0 over here. Maybe they don't know about the data or something. Something has happened. So I can either replace this errors with 0 or I can eliminate the data. So there are two approaches to this things. So the first thing that we can do is, we will come to this error handling later. We can replace these errors, but let's come to that part later. In fact, we can do now itself actually. So if I click on this column, let's see how we can handle this. So if I go over here, there is this option of transform. And under transform, I can replace the errors. So I can replace the error with a basic value, which is there. Yes. These are real facts. These are real data. Which step you want me to mention, basically? So basically, so I did from column from examples, and then we have covered this part. Okay, the transformation part is simply from the column from examples. So from column from examples, we did that. And then we selected from selection, and from selection we'll do. I will repeat the step again with other things, then you will be able to understand this. So now with this error, what I'm going to do? Generally, it is not recommended to delete the data. But if the data is very less, like about 5 rows, you can delete it. But generally, it is not a recommended method of doing it. Instead, you can replace the error with some values. So I can replace this with a 0 value if I don't know the data, or I have to manually replace with the values that is present over here. So these are the two approaches that I can do. Because here, if you see 11 is there, I could put 11 also, or I could put 0. So this is a very largely subjective issue. Depends on how you are handling the data. Generally, at the source, we should change this data structure, because here 11 should not have come. Here, this pattern should have come, but it has not come. So we are facing this issue. So for our analysis, I can safely remove this. Or if I am not able to remove this, then I will replace it with some values. So this is the situation that I have right now. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to go for replace values. There is this replace errors, which is present over here. Yes. It's advisable to replace with average of other values. Yes, that can be also done. What is the maximum data that we can replace? That's a good question. You can replace the values. There is no, we'll come to question one by one. So average of other values, if you know, basically, that's also a good option if you don't want to affect the averages. Here the values is very small, so it will not affect the results significantly. But if the errors are very huge, then we have to go back to the source data and then correct it. Because that is the ideal method. Because if there are large number of values which is showing error, which means the source data has some problem. So you have to go back to the data owner to check if the data is correct. If they say it is correct, then we replace it by 0, or we can remove those values as well. So there is no limit as to how many data you can replace. If there is an error, we have to address that. So now here, since I don't know what is to be replaced, so either I can put a question mark over here, or I can put 0 over here. So for now, let's put a question mark and see how it goes. So I'm putting a question mark over here, and I don't know what to do with this. So let's see, let's say if I can do, or I can simply replace with 0, since it's a 5 values. So let's see what happens. We'll put 0 and try it out. 5 values were there, and we have replaced it with 0. Okay, so now it has removed those errors, and it is showing me the total fatalities. So we have done this, although not a very accurate analysis, but we had to do this anyway. Okay, so we have addressed this query in not so good, in like okayish way, but that's okay. Let's see what else we can do. Next, what we will do is we have calculated total abort and total fatalities. And now I will extract the number of passengers from here. So number of passengers from above and number of crew from above. How do I do that? I'm going to select this aspect. And again, I'm going to use the same thing, which is column from examples. So again, this is the transform part I'm repeating again. From selection, and then column 1. Now here I want this 0 to come, basically. So if I just click on 0 and I click on enter, so it identifies the pattern. And then I can rename this as passengers above. And I will click on OK. And it will again perform another operation over here. So we have done another operation, which is the transformation of data and passengers which are aboard. So we have got total aboard, passengers aboard, and total fatalities. For now, let's keep this one only. You can basically also practice as a homework of extracting crew as well and extracting this other data. Okay, so I leave it up to you to calculate to take out that. For now, it's enough for an analysis to do these numbers. So now I have to change one more thing now. This is in ABC, which means this is in string. And I want to convert this into numbers because all this data should be numbers. So let's try. If I click on this ABC over here, I require a whole number. It cannot be a decimal number. So let's say what will happen over here. So it has converted. And basically it is analyzing if all my data is proper. Can we delete a particular row? Yes, you can delete. What inform the numbers you type in the new column? Acha, yes. So yeah. So I have typed 0. That is because passengers के next में 0 था. So I typed 0 and I clicked on enter because it will identify all the numbers which is related to the passenger. Sure. I can again show the step again. No worries. I can show the step now also. But let's focus on this cleaning aspect and then we'll see. Now again it is showing red. So this is there is one error which is showing, and that is the error. And now I have the option of removing the errors also. But removing the errors, generally we don't recommend it. So I can replace those errors. Okay. So what could be that error? It could be any error, but most probably my hunch is this is a a string. A string could be there, a blank could be there, or some special character could be there, and that is why it is coming. Because earlier it was string, so it was accepting all the data, all the numbers and text. But here only numbers are accepted once you change it to a whole number. So definitely that value must have been a number which is not a value which is not a number. It could be a string or something. Okay, so it is not easy to identify over here what that number is. So for now, either I can replace that value. Replacing the value is the most easiest thing to do. So I will go to transform and I will go to this replace values and replace errors is there. and I can simply replace the error with 0. Mostly it is going to be the errors which is having some strings. So I've done that and I've addressed this aspect as well. Let's see if this is working properly. Similarly, I'm going to do for passengers and fatalities. I'm going to select both these columns and I'm going to change their data type. So I'm going to home, data, which is text. So you can select multiple columns as well and you can change it. So again, the analysis will go around. It will try to identify if there is any problem here, and it has identified the problem. So you see here, early itself, I can see the problem over here. What is the problem? Under passengers and under this one, fatalities and aboard, question mark is there. Question mark is a string and it is showing the error below as well. We couldn't convert this to number. That is the error it is showing. So how to address this error again? I can replace this with 0. Again, how many errors are there? I can simply click on this to identify. So basically 22 errors are there. And if I click over here, 1 error is there. You can see from this column statistics below. Again, a less values, but still it's a significant one. So, but I know that one of the errors is this one, and I have to handle this errors. So you can eliminate these errors or you can keep in the visualization. I ideally keep them in the visualization so that I can tackle them later. So error is present over here. So we are going to click on replace errors and we can do 0. Or I could replace this with the average value as well. So we have calculated both of these things and we have replaced the errors. Okay, so we have got passengers aboard, total fatalities and total aboard, all in numbers, and all the data has been cleaned. Now the next step we will do is, I don't require this aboard and fatalities anymore. Okay, because I already extracted the required values. So what I will do is I'm going to click on this aboard and fatalities and remove columns. I don't require this. So I'm going to click on remove columns. So those columns gets removed. I think I might have removed aboard also accidentally. So accidentally I removed aboard column. So I'm deleting this step over here and I will do that option again. So I must have accidentally deleted it. So aboard and fatalities I'm selecting again. This one and remove columns. So even if you do a wrong step, don't worry. You can always retrieve it back. So don't worry about that. Okay, so I got this values. And there is this time value which is present. And if you see there are a lot of values which are null over here. Okay, so I don't require this column also for now. So I'm going to remove this column as well. So removing all the unnecessary columns is also a part of data transformation. So I don't require this column as well. And I don't require this column as well, which is C and IM, because I already have this registration which is present and it does not contribute to my analysis. So I'm going to remove this as well. Okay. Flight number is also not required actually. That's also a good point. We don't require the flight number as well. Operator is required. Flight number, it is not an important aspect over here. So we can remove this as well. Of course, if you want to use it, you can use it. But for our analysis right now, we don't require it. And you can always get back this. So you can always remove this step and always get back to the column. So don't worry. Is there a hide column option? That's a good one. Basically, you cannot specifically hide this in Power Query. You can hide this basically in Power BI also inside. In Power Query, you have to remove it. So it does not allow you to hide. But that's okay. We can do that without that also. So now this part is there. At least I'm not seen any hide option in Power Query. If it is there, maybe I can check it out, but you cannot do that. So I have got this values over here. And so don't worry about removing the columns here, because in your source data, original data and original columns all will be there. So it will not affect the Excel sheet. Now, another important aspect. If you see over here, if I click on 1922 now, if I right click on this aspect, there is this enable load is there. And there is a tick option against it. What it tells you is the moment if I click on close and apply, Power Query will load all these tables into Power BI system. And that is where this enable load option is. By default, it is being clicked. And this include in report refreshes, whenever you click on refresh, all the data will get refreshed. And that is why this option is also ticked. Now, I don't want 1922 to be loaded into the system. Why? Because all my tables are now in 1921. So why do I require all these extra tables to be loaded? And I cannot delete these tables also because these tables are connected to 1921. So if I delete this table, then this data will also get deleted. So in order to not load this system, I'm going to right click on this and disable enable load. And if you see, it has slightly changed to in italics or slightly curvy. And I'm going to manually do this for all the tables. So it's unfortunately a very manual process. So I'm disabling the load over here. So just you have to untick each one of the things. And that's where you are done with this. So except for 1921, untick for all the values, the enable load option. So untick that option. So you will be done with this. Now, if you see, I have not addressed these empty values and these values over here under flight number, because first of all, flight number is a text. So this question marks all can be addressed. It can contain. And I don't know what values to replace because it's a number. So I don't know what to replace. Ideally, I can say maybe information not available at the most I can do, or I can simply keep it as blank. So that is up to us as to how to handle these kind of things. So if the information is not available, I can simply replace this with information not available. So I can do that as well, NA. So just wanted to highlight that aspect. And we have got all the values which are present. So I'm going back to 1921. Okay, let me see. I'm going to click on close and apply. So click on close and apply and this will get loaded. So that's it. That's what we had to do over here. That's the data transformation part. And let me show that option again. Suppose if I click on this option over here, a board, and add column from examples from selection. And if you click on this number, which is 34, and if I click on enter, you will get this pattern. Similar pattern you can obtain for fatalities or for anything. So fatalities is mentioned, ground is mentioned. So if I mention 0 over here, it will try to identify all these things. Of course, it will try to identify this also because the pattern is not consistent. The pattern has to be consistent for the data to get accurately defined. That is why it is showing you other values as well. But overall, it gives you a good number and then you can calculate it. I'm going to cancel this for now. For now, we don't require this. So we have done this part and we'll click on close and apply. So close and apply. So it will give you this warning. Just wait for some time. It will automatically start to load. So it will take some time to load this system. Just wait for some time. You don't need to click on any options. And then this would get loaded. So what we have just now done is data transformation. One of the aspects of data transformations. So there are many ways to do data transformation, but with one example, we have covered that aspect. So this is getting loaded. So about 5,147 rows got loaded here into the system. Okay. So we have got this aspect as well. Now we'll go to the model view and we can see one single table, which is over here. That's because I have disabled all other tables. So that is why we have got this aspect. And now I can build the visuals that I want. So we will quickly build some few visuals and then we will conclude this fatal crashes exercise. So what all I can build? What all questions that I can ask myself? Well, the first thing I need to do is I will go to insert and I will give a title to this report. So I will go to buttons and I will click on blank. And I am going to write this under format. I will go to format. I will go to button style and text. I will enable this on. So select this button, go to format and enable the text as on and write this as plain crash report. So we will make this as bold and probably size as 30. Font color can be this one, which is fine. So this is going to be our plain crash report. On to the top, we have placed this. Remember, this is the canvas we are talking about, and I have formatted the button. So first aspect we have built. Now the second thing I want to build is basically I require a chart. So I require a chart to be made out of this. So you can see that there are certain fields over here and I need to make the appropriate charts. So the first chart I'm going to make is I'm going to make a KPI card. KPI card or this 1, 2, 3 which is being shown. So this 1, 2, 3 over here is there. I will select the new one, 1, 2, 3. You can select any one that you want. And I'm going to place this over here. I simply need how many people were there on plane. Just simply click on this and you will get the visual of how many people were aboard. So that will get populated over here. What is the difference between card and card new? So basically, card new is a new type. Just the formatting options are a little different. So it's a new that they have added as a chart type. Both the chart types show you the same thing. It is with new features. That is, the formatting options are certain different. Your labels are above. In your old card, this label would have been below. This sum of total above. So those are the aspects that is there. You can use any one card that you want. So I got the first thing over here. I'm not extensively focusing on formatting today. So even if it is not formatted now, it is fine. We'll do some very quickly, some basic formatting, and we can then jump on to other things. So here, if I go to cards, I can disable this border. I don't want the border which is inside. And call out values may probably I can make it as center. And under size and style, even if you are not doing this, it's perfectly fine. I'm just putting 25 pixels. So I'm doing this a little fast. And we have got this one over here. So sum of total upload. New visual, you're not able to see beside the new visual. Okay. It must be, I think you are referring to the panes. Acha, this part. So there you have to go to the settings and enable it. So under settings, you will get this option. So probably in options and settings, if I go here, under it must be under preview features. Preview features or I guess regional setting in report settings, either one. So preview features is there and report is there. Default display smart guide. Enable these options. Okay, that is one thing. And under preview features, enable these options. So new card visual. It must be related to format. Power BI, quick measure, suggestions, metrics, visual. I think it is going to be this one, modern visual tooltips, I guess. Either this one. So if you enable these settings, mostly you will get that option over there, if I'm not wrong. Regional settings में नहीं होगा, security, ठीक है. Mostly इसी में होगा, report settings and the preview features. Okay. So enable that, that will come over there. Even if it is not coming over there, you can always go to view option and you can select these values as well over here. So here you can select format or here you can select. So I've got the total aboard which are there, the total passengers which are aboard, which is something 161,000. Okay. Then the next thing that I'm going to do is total people which got killed. So just give me one moment. So Control C and I'm going to do Control B. So Control C and Control B. And in the next one, I am going to select total fatalities. So I've got this option as well. And I'm going to keep it small. So I'm going to keep it over here. Probably a little bit down because it's not look nice. The next thing I am going to calculate is total passengers which were above. So the same thing, Control V. And I'm going to resize this. So formatting is pretty straightforward. You don't have to apply a lot of effort into formatting. It is just that it takes a little bit of time. So I've got this sum also. And we have got this 3 KPIs very nicely done over to the fact. Now the next thing I want to now do is I want to calculate what is the death rate. So I know the total fatalities. I know total aboard. So I can calculate the death rate. So death rate is going to be the division of this aspect and this aspect. So total fatalities divided by total aboard will give you the death rate. And that is where we will use a DAX calculation to do this operation. So for this, I can do a very easy way of doing this. So you have this quick measure, which is present over here. I hope this option is enabled for you. So if you click on this quick measure, there are a lot of functions which are present over here. So there is this division option which is present. So if you select on this division, we will get this numerator and denominator. So on the numerator, I can put total fatalities, and on the denominator, I can put total abort. And it will automatically calculate a new measure. So let me click on this add option. And then your first DAX calculation is successfully created. So again, for basic calculations, DAX is very useful. So now you can see total fatalities, a measure is created, which is in the form of a calculator. Total fatalities divided by total abort. Now, I don't like the title of this. So if I click on this option, I can see that it has come over here. I can see the title over here. So I'm going to rename this title as death rate. Okay. And click on enter. So I've renamed the measure. So a brief introduction about DAX. So DAX stands for Data Analysis Expressions, DAX. Why they call it as DAX is because it's a name which as Power BI has given whenever you write any calculations which are not present in the sheet. So in the sheet, I don't have a death rate. A death rate column or a death rate visualization I cannot make without having that value. So using these two columns, I created a new measure. This we call it as a calculated measure, which is there in the form of this calculator. Okay, new measure. So for now, understand that measure means any calculation that you can create and you can use it in the visualization. That is a calculation. It is not a new column. It looks like a new column has been added, but a new column has not been added. If I go to table view, you will not see that measure as a column over here in the table view. Okay, so death rate is a measure. Under what menu tab is the quick measure is there? Okay, so quick measure is under home tab. So under home tab, you will get this quick measure. If this is not enabled, again, you have to go to options and settings. You will go to options. And you have to go to basically report settings. And click this one. And under preview features, quick measure suggestions, and here there was another thing I think related to quick measures. DAX query view is not required. Basically, if you take all these options, you will get this one. So quick measures would come over here. Quick measure suggestions. Let me see if there is any other thing that I can do. No, I think this one only. So quick measures option you will automatically get over there. Yes, इसी में से आएगा. All right. So I hope everyone has created this measure. And as usual, I am going to put Control B again. So Control B. And now it's a pretty straightforward thing. Instead of this value, I am going to put this death rate. And this death rate is not coming correctly. Let's see what has happened. So I've used the divide, which is sum of, okay, so it has taken 1921, which is correct. Sum of this total fatalities divided by sum of total abort. I need to convert this into percentage. So this one is going to be a percentage. And now it will give me the correct value. So it's 72%. So I click on this death rate and convert this into a percentage. So you will get the correct percentage with this percent. Probably in 430, probably you'll get. So I got my first DAX query, which we have created simply by creating a quick measure. Okay. So I can keep this over here, or I can just write it over here. I will reformat this part and you will get this over here. You can probably reduce this size. So for now, let it be like this. So I got all the 4 aspects which I have created. Okay, so this is the death rate over all the years, and I have got it over here. Okay, let me place this over here. Pretty simple. Now we will find some trends. So the next chart I'm going to create is a line chart. So I hope everyone is following me till now. Now we'll create a line chart. The objective is to find the trend. Over the years, what was the trend of the fatalities and abort? I want to compare basically. So I'm clicking on date and I'm clicking on total abort. So I got this aspect over here, total abort, and I can put another aspect also. So usually, okay, I will not put it over there. I'll put it under total fatalities. So under y-axis, I'm going to put. So I will get this 2 trends over the years as to how many were total abort and how many were total fatalities over the years. So you got this table. I'm going to push this table over here. And I've got my pattern. Okay. So we have got this aspect as well. It's a very simple one that we have got this. So I'm going to just reduce this size a little bit to understand how this table has formed. Now I want to see operator wise, what is the number of crashes? So can anyone help me? How do I create it? I want to see operator wise, how many crashes has occurred? How many plane crashes has occurred across each operator? So a column chart, not in this one. We can create a new one. This can be not, it will be very cluttered. So I'm going to add a table chart I can add or a column chart also. Table chart also I could have added. I can simply create a column chart and I can use over the years how many crashes has happened in each year or on which year the maximum number of crashes has happened. Remember that every entry that you see on the table, it's a one single plane crash. And under that plane crash, basically, how many passengers have died. So if I use operator, assuming that everyone has the operator name, so I'll be able to get this. So unfortunately, operator has gone over to legends. So I'm going to keep it on y-axis. And I will get this trend over here. So this is the trend of all the crashes which has happened over the over different years. So maybe I can change this to a bar. Bar maybe अच्छा नहीं लग रहा है. We'll do this one only. Probably I can change it to a line chart. Line chart looks better. Okay, maybe if I can use a column chart also looks better. Column chart maybe it looks very tight. So probably we can use a line chart over here. So now you can see that in 1950, you have about a maximum count, which is about 142 crashes. So that year was the maximum crash, followed by 1970, where you had 70 crashes. And over the years, it has completely got reduced. So this is the crash data that we have got. And we can expand this a little bit to show the crash statistics. Okay. So we have got this aspect also. Now, what else we can calculate over here? We have calculated death rate. Let me see on the data. Total people which were in ground. If we want, we can calculate that. Otherwise, we can ignore this one. What else we can calculate? I think this is fine. We have calculated almost all the things. And this is how we can do this part. Let me see if I can do something else. Operator wise, no, this is fine. I got to see one more thing also. Operator wise, what is the number of crashes? So if I create a table, so this is the name of each of the operators and how many deaths they have caused over the years. So for that, what I can do is either I can count this number of operators or I can basically do a count rows, which means basically counting the number of rows which are present over here. So for that, what we can do is simply I can put the operator again. And I can have a count of that operator. This also you can do that. So every time how many counts are there, basically you will see the number which is present over here. And if I do the descending order, I can see that Aerofloat has the maximum number of crashes to its name, followed by the other things. And I can simply filter it by top 10 or top 20. Okay, so under operators, I can basically do the top n, probably top 10. And the field is going to be control. Sorry, I have to drag this passengers over here. And I have to change this to count. And apply filter. Okay, so you can do this. I hope my screen is visible. Yeah, thank you. So this analysis also is a very good one, where I can see by operator wise over the years, how many crashes have happened. Last part we are going to put is a simple slicer. So I'm going to add the slicer over here and I'm going to put date. That's it. A simple slicer. Great, great. Thank you. So a simple slicer that you have to put, and by default, it has created this for you. So if I change the slicer over here, you can see that my data is also changing. An interesting thing over here is that all these things which has happened over the years, the death rate has reduced. If you see from 1921, it was very high. If I reduce it to 2011 to 2023, oh, it is still high actually. So the death rate is high, but it is not like very, it has not changed a lot, I guess, in my opinion. Yeah, Bhagyashri. Is there any doubts? So this is a very good data of understanding as to how the crashes statistic vary and how you can manipulate this data. So it's a very quick finding report that you have found out. Again, I will repeat that by looking at the Excel table, you not have found this many insights. Now suddenly you have found all these insights which is present over here. I have shared my screen, I guess. What you can do is you can rejoin the meeting again and you can come over here. Probably I can stop sharing my screen. I can reshare my screen again. Mostly, I think my screen is visible. All right. So we have got our what do you call that? Plane crash data, and we have analyzed certain aspects of it, and we have created our measures as well. So we will click on this save and just mention plane crash and save this data. Plane crash data and save this. Okay, do I want to replace that? No, I don't want to replace that. I'm going to use this part. Okay, so we have done some basic analysis over here. We will close this report and we'll open the yesterday's report, which is the global superstore. So please open that report, close this one. And we will do some more DAX analysis in that report. Attendance, I think Amar will be having it. Amar will be sharing it. Don't worry, you will get the attendance. Okay, let me open the sheet. So all of you open the global superstore, and from there we will do some more analysis. I don't know. Actually, I think it comes for each day. I'm not sure. Can you get for you can get for previous attendance that you have to check with Amar. So Amar is there online. You can just check with him. So, it's fine. Okay, Priyanka. Let me share my screen again. Just let me know if you're able to see my screen again. So this is the yesterday's data that we were looking at. Okay. Okay. So now we will do some quick analysis basically. So now here I want to calculate, probably in a new report or in an existing report, I want to calculate the cost which I have incurred. So how do I calculate the cost? So to calculate cost, I have to find the difference between. Okay, thank you. So I have to find the difference between the sales and the profit. So now I will take you through how to create a measure, which is for sales value into quantity. Yeah, sales value into quantity, that will be total sales. So cost will be basically the cost that you have incurred. That's the difference between sales minus profit. So here I will show you how to create a new measure. So new measure can be created by clicking on this option, which is over here under Home tab, or under Orders, you have this 3 dots and you click on new measure over here. And I've created the measure name over here. Onto the right side is the name of the measure, onto the left side, and onto the right side is where you're going to write the formula. attendance, I think Amar will share in a while, don't worry. So in measures, you will be able to, you should be writing the name as cost. So that's the name of the measure I'm going to write. And I'm going to use a function which is called as sum. So any function that you write in DAX, it will first show the definition of the function, and it will show basically the what are the arguments which are required for the function. So here column name is the required argument. So it requires the column name that I want to fill. So here I'm going to search for sales because sales is the column. Orders is the name of the table and sales is the name of the column. Click on tab button in your computer and you will get like this and close the bracket. So you have got cost. In fact, I will write this visual, this measure as total cost. Total cost. And I'm going to click on enter. So in that way, you have essentially calculated the total cost. And you have found this. In fact, you can see this ask a question also gets updated. So as the new measure is added, it's also addressing the new things for you. So that is how it works. So what we can do is, so this total cost I have calculated. And if I click on the new page, I will be able to put this report, or I can put this report over here. Okay, let me put this in the new report. So I'm clicking on new page and I'm going to create a new card and click on cost. So you will get the total cost which is present. Just search for it and this is the total cost you will get. Similarly, there are other aggregated functions which are present over here, which is average, maximum, minimum. So let's say I want to calculate the maximum sales. One single order purchase may, what is the maximum purchase in one single order a customer has done? What is the maximum purchase? One single order may, how much he has purchased. So for that, what I have to do again? I have to click on this three dots, new measure. And here I'm going to write maximum sales. Name of the measure, remember, onto the left side. Onto the right side, you will write the function, which is the max function. Click on tab. You will get the arguments over here. So max function requires one mandatory argument, and any argument which is present in this rectangular brackets means it is optional. So you don't have to mandatorily put it. So column name or the scalar one, it refers to. So write this as maximum sales and you will get this part. So you have to mention the column name. And I've got the total maximum sales as well. In fact, to keep the consistency of this report, I am going to copy it from here. And I'm going to paste over here. Okay. I'm going to remove this. And here I'm going to enable total costs. Okay. Similarly, Control V. I will get the maximum sales. Total profit is gone. So based on the same principle, you will find out the average sales, minimum sales, and max and other aspects. So That average is going to be your homework as to how to calculate. Just put AVG and you will get the average sales. So we have calculated these two aspects, which is the total cost and the maximum sales. Now let's do some another interesting thing over here, which is let's say I'm creating a clustered bar chart. Okay. And here I have basically the, let's say I'm taking the market and I'm calculating profit. So it is showing me the maximum market wise profit over here. Okay. So now I want to do a conditional formatting over here. So if I select this aspect, conditional formatting, as in if I click on this market, not over here, over to this bars, I can go for this FX. And I can color this based on the maximum value to minimum value. And so for this, we will use the gradient and we can color this. So I can color this maximum as green. I think we have done this one, I guess. I will go to more colors. I will select this green part. And I'm going to drag this over here. Okay. And this is going to be basically a red. And I can add a middle color as well if I want. But I think it's not required for now. Click on OK. And this is how you get from maximum to minimum. So this is another thing that you can do over here. And basically you can calculate it accordingly. So we have calculated this aspect as well. Now we will now go to the modeling. So modeling we have not covered. Basically we have covered a basic aspects of modeling. Now we'll cover some basically more details about modeling. So modeling means what? Modeling means how your tables, different tables are related to each other. How to change white color of the chart parent? Yeah. So we need to change basically. So here, if I format the canvas, that is one way to do that. Another way to do that is for the chart, you have to select basically the size and style, under size and style, background. And you can change the background over here. So format me, I can just put the format canvas and load that thing over here, and then we can format it again. So here, if I click on browse, and if I go to desktop, I will add this one. The background will change if this is what you are asking. And here I need to change the background. So I can put this background to be off. So once you put that to off, you will get the same color as this one, or you can change the color which is inside. So I'm not going into these details now. This you can do it probably in the homework, and you can change the colors over here. So basically you can change the color to this one. Okay, so now we will go to model view. We'll briefly cover again model view. There are many aspects of in modeling, but in the interest of time and since for this workshop, we will cover a very basic thing. So you have this one to many, many to one, which is both the same thing, and one to one relationship and many to many. So if I connect basically this order ID with this one, it will give me a warning of many to many, and it is okay to do that as long as if you are okay with the data being duplicated, or you can handle those duplicates. So if I click on this OK, it will give me a many-to-many relationship. And you can see over here, it has formed a many-to-many relationship. Okay. And now you can see one other interesting aspect, which is this arrow. So this arrow goes both ways. So this is the filtering arrow. What do you mean by filtering arrow? Which means that the filter direction happens in both ways. Here the filter is happening from name of the employees or the name of the region. It is going towards order and not the other way around. So name will get filtered. It will go over here and then all the required attributes will go. So that is how the filtering direction will happen. So this is the cross filter and this is your normal filters, one direction filters. Okay, for now, just understand that this is the direction of the filters. No need to go for in depth for now because that comes in under, when we have the advanced classes. But let's say for now, understand that this is the direction that you need to. Modeling is nothing but connecting the tables, and this is how you establish the link between different tables. Now we'll go to transform data. Go to transform data by clicking on that home tab and go to orders. So here, if you see, we talked about data redundancy in our first class. Data redundancy means your data gets repeated a lot of times unnecessarily. So if you see over here, my standard class, we'll take the example of ship mode. It is getting repeated more than 1,000 times because every entry contains the standard class. Although how many entries I would be having if I click on this value, okay, it is not showing over here. It must be having 4 or 5 types. If I just click over here, it must be having maximum 4 types of this one. First class, same day, second class. So in order to reduce data redundancy, what I can do is I can create a new table, and the new table I can use the ship node. So how do I do that? So right click on the query and duplicate this query, orders table. So just duplicate this and you will get orders to and orders over here. I'll tell you the reason why we did this. So in orders to, take only the ship mode, select only the ship mode and remove other columns because we want only this column to be present. So done. We have removed the ship mode column and we have done this. And now here I will remove the duplicates because I don't require all these values. So under remove rows, I am removing the duplicates. So 3 steps we have done. One is I have duplicated the query by right clicking on this. The second part is I have selected, I've removed other columns. I've selected only ship mode and then I've removed other columns. And third thing, I've removed the duplicates. So these 3 aspects we have done. And I can see this 4 ship mode over here. Now the next thing I want to do here is I will go to add column. And I am going to add this index column. So select this drop down and select from 1. So index column is nothing but it gives a unique value to each one of the rows which is present over here. And I'm going to simply rearrange it over like this. We'll see the importance of this index column. So essentially what it means is 1 means standard class, 2 means first class, 3 means second class, and 4 means the same day. So I've assigned a numerical value to each one of this text. Now, I will rename this orders as ship mode over here. Okay. So just you can observe it now. You don't need to replicate this. I will share the file with you. Don't worry. And we have covered, we have created this ship mode table. Now the next step is I want to merge orders and ship mode together. So basically what I will do is instead of this standard class asset text, which is present over here, I will replace them with 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's how I'm going to combine both of these tables, and ship mode, I can use it as a separate table. So how will I do that? I will go to home. We did append in the beginning of the class. Now we will do merge queries. Okay, so merge queries. Again, two options, merge queries as new or merge queries. We are going to follow this merge queries option, the first option. And now merge queries is what essentially it means joins. So joins means you are combining the table horizontally. Append means you are combining the tables vertically. So in joins, I require a common column or merge that you call it. Common column between the two tables. So my second table is going to be ship mode, and the first table is going to be orders. So what is the common column in both the cases? It is the ship mode in both the cases. So I'm going to select the ship mode over here and ship mode over here. And here I can use the type of join. So left outer join I'm using. So left outer join means all the values from this left table, the first table, and matching values to the second table. So you can use this one and click on OK. And you got this table over here. I'm doing it a little fast. Don't worry. I will give you this all this access. So don't worry. Now the next step is I want to extract these values from this table. And I'm going to extract this index. Why index? Because index contains the numbers which is present over there. Because this index represents the ship mode in the ship mode table. And that is why I'm writing this. I'm taking only the index one. Okay. I'll explain this again. In ship mode, I have this 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 represents standard class, 2 represents first class. And in orders table, I have this merged. When we have merged this, I got the ship mode table. And I return this one value. So this one value is essentially representing standard class. So now I have reduced the size of the data. Because one occupies much lesser space than the standard class. Okay. And now I don't require the ship mode anymore. So I can remove this column safely now. So once you have removed it, we have got this first. We have got these two tables. And now we'll click on close and apply. And now you will see certain changes. So why I've created a separate table again? Because to reduce the data redundancy and improving the efficiency of the database. So this is what we call it as one of the examples of schema creations. So schema creations, again, it's an advanced topic. just understand that how the tables are structured together, and that is what we call it as a schema. So it has automatically identified a one-to-many relationship. And I hope you now understand what is a one-to-many relationship. One-to-many means the unique values are of ship mode or the index here, and the repeated values of index. So that is the common connector between the two. And this is the direction. So whenever I want to calculate now the ship mode, I can get the ship mode from here and I can calculate the sales from here. Instead of taking it from the orders table, I can take from this table. So this is the merging of columns. So we saw append of the columns, and now we saw the merging of the columns. So append means vertical, merging means horizontal. Horizontally, the tables have combined. So that's the only difference between the two. I'm going to save this file. So there are many such concepts in data modeling, like creation of a bridge table and star schema, snowflake schema. So those topics we cannot cover in the interest of time, but those are the topics which comes under the data modeling basically. But this is the basic aspects of modeling, simply connecting the data between different tables, having the common column, and then you structure the data. So this is what we have done over here. All right. What else we can do now? We have still 10 more minutes. So in 10 more minutes, just quickly ask the doubts. Probably we can recap the entire session. And then tomorrow we will start with another good visualization tool, which is Tableau. So any questions, any doubts? We'll quickly get a quick round of doubts. And I can cover that aspect. Please share a list of online courses. Thank you so much. Where it is, so basically online courses XLR will provide you. So the normal duration of course is much bigger than this. Since it's a workshop, we have concised to entire, basically covering the basic aspects. But this is also sufficient for you to get your interest in business intelligence. So that Amar can give you that details about how to enroll in the course and everything. It will be there probably in the LMS portal. Anything else? Anything else? From the model, can we create new database from existing? Okay. New database from existing means you are essentially, you are basically creating a new table over here. So if I click on this new table, essentially you are creating a new form of data. So here you have to copy paste it, and you can do this. In modeling, also you can enter the data, but as I said, you can enter the data and you can create over here, not over here. You can definitely do that. So I'm not going into a lot of details because modeling is a very vast topic. And there are a lot of aspects which comes into this. But for now, I think understand this aspect itself. This is sufficient to understand one-to-many, many-to-many relationships. By knowing Power BI or few more skills required, definitely Power BI as a developer, there are a lot of roles in Power BI developer. And there is also a role such as business intelligence tool, business intelligence roles. So for those, they require Power BI. So Power BI developer is a purely developer-based role. And if you are employed as a data analyst or a product analyst or a business analyst, you will use one of the visualization tools definitely. So Power BI or Tableau. So that will be one of the rules. It will not be an entirely, they'll be working on Power BI, but one of the rules will be Power BI. One of the job responsibilities. So purely, yes, Power BI developer, otherwise business analyst. You can see, I mean, you can, even if you do in LinkedIn and Google, you can search for Power BI things and everything. So can we train the data in Power BI? No, training data is not possible in this. So training is possible only in tools like R, and we have to do a lot of coding for that. So that comes under machine learning. In Power BI, you cannot train the data. It has not yet achieved that thing. Although there is a co-pilot feature, Power BI has a separate products related to AI. So it can give you a brief report as we saw in AI visuals, but for you to train yourself, uh, it is not recommended. But you can connect R and Python and then you can implement the training models. So Power BI cannot learn on its own. It can just ultimately display those things. So that is this R script visual and Python visuals are there. So that is one aspect which is present. One final thing I want you to highlight this. You have to, I'm sure you are faculty, so you must be having your organizational account. So you can create an account in Microsoft Power BI. So by clicking on sign in, and you can create a new account and you can publish this report. So once we cover probably Tableau, we can quickly look around that, but this option is also there. But generally we don't do that because students don't have access to this because it requires an organizational account, but if you as faculties can probably do that. There you can publish the reports. Otherwise, we have covered almost everything. We have covered the basic aspects, definitely. The chart types and everything. And I will show you one more thing basically. Just give me one moment. I will sign into this and I can show you how a published report basically looks like. So just give me one moment. I'll just show that as well. But it makes more sense when you have basically your own organizational account and you want to share report with others, then it makes more sense to have it. Otherwise, it does not make a lot of sense to have this. So I got signed in. I guess I got signed in, I guess. Let me see. So yes, I got signed in basically. And if you see, this is my account, which I got created. And this is the Power BI service. If I click on Power BI service, I will be redirected to a new account. So now it will ask me basically to just log in and everything. And then I have to do that. So just give me one moment. I'll just log in and come back. So tomorrow we will deal with Tableau. And I hope that you will be all excited to have it. So it's also a very good tool for conducting the visualizations. I can quickly see this for you. And also, please give the feedback also as to how you find this course and how is the pace of the instructions and how do you understand the aspects. So that will help us to provide a better learning for all of you. So in that way, we can do that. This is how I signed in. Okay. So I got signed in over to the system. Just share my screen again. Sorry. Yeah, sorry for that. I'll just publish this report. So there is this publish option because I've signed in onto this. And if I click on publish, this will get published to the Power BI service. This will come map and field maps are not coming because in the paid version only they have enabled this. And that is where your maps will not get visible when you publish or when you get signed on. So I'm going to select on publish my workspace and this workbook gets published. So it will come like this and this will get published to that. Okay. So now I can see this report over here. So here, whatever new workbooks, new things that I have done, or the new reports which I have published, which will come over here. So here all the reports will be coming. And if I take basically, where is the one which I will find? So you can find all the reports over here. And whatever reports that you have done, it will get uploaded in my workspace. So this is the workspace where you will see all the required things which are present. So let me see. Yeah. So global superstore, FDIP is there. So here it is there. And this is where I can see. So now you can export the data in the form of PowerPoint and everything. So either you can download this, or this is the option which is there, export. So you can export in PowerPoint, or you can export as a PDF. So you can do all these things which you can do. You can embed as an image, or you can embed in the data, or you can embed as a PDF. So that's the beautiful thing about this. And so yes, so that concludes our session for today. Let me see where can we download Tableau? Okay, so Tableau public. So there is a online, on the online tool, there is a Tableau public, which is present. Tableau public download. Okay. Probably I can share that link with you. I think that's also a good point. So here, download Tableau desktop is there. You have to sign in first. And once you have signed in, and then only you can basically download the Tableau desktop. So download will come, and then you can do that. Wait, I will search for Tableau public. Installation में थोड़ा time लगेगा, so we have to spend a brief time on installation as well, because here you have to search for Tableau public, and then you have to search for it. Basically, it will come over here. There are multiple steps, and then you can sign in. It won't take like more than 10-15 minutes, maximum 10 minutes probably. So here, if you click on Tableau Desktop Public Edition, this is where you will get. So I'm sharing this link. I will repeat this step again tomorrow as well. But in case you are curious about it, so you can download this from here. And also create an account in Tableau Public by clicking on Sign in. It will ask you your email and all those addresses, and you can do that. So creation of account is important in Tableau Public. In Power BI, it was not required. So download this Tableau desktop and sign in. So that is for tomorrow. All right then. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. I hope that it is useful for you. We'll see you tomorrow, and we'll look at Tableau now, and we'll do some visualizations in Tableau. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
So, dear participants, I shared the attendance link. I'm sharing that once again. So, please mark your attendance and share your valuable feedback with us. And if you're facing any difficulty regarding to the elements or anything else, please let me know in the chat box. I will help you understand. So there is one question from Monica. Hi, this is P. Monica, attended yesterday session, but missed to fill the attendance. Can you please check it and consider? Sorry to say, but we are not able to consider, as we inform on the day one and we are informing every day. You have to mark your attendance in between the session, as 60% attendance is mandatory to get the certificate. Sorry for that. Okay, so thank you so much all of you for joining today's session, and we'll see you on tomorrow at same time. So bye bye. Have a nice day. Take care of yourself and take care of your family.